Welcome back to this video tutorial. Now we can consider program example for understanding more about our array structure in C programming. Okay, so we have already discussed about the definition of array, the structure of an array, and the declaration part and how an array can declare. All these are discussed in our previous video. Now with the help of program example, we can understand all these topics more clear. Okay, now consider how to declare an array. So the syntax is like the type, then the name of the array, then the size. Okay, now I'm going to declare an array, an integer array. So the type is int here. Okay, end space, then the name of the array, here it is given as ARY, and we need to specify the size. Okay, now I am going to input the size of this array as 10. Then what will happen after completing this declaration part? While executing this particular statement, what will happen in our system memory? It allot 10 different spaces for storing 10 different integer numbers. For storing a single integer number, we need 2 consecutive bytes, right? So here in this case, while executing this in our system memory, it allot consecutive 20 bytes, in which 2 bytes are used for storing a single integer. 2 consecutive bytes used for storing a single integer. Okay, and all together for that 20 bytes we can name it as ARY, right? So this is the declaration. Now I'm going to change this. That means I'm going to directly initialize this array with 10 different values. That means declaration and initialization all together in a single statement, like ARY of 10 is equal to, I'm going to input different numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and finally 10. Okay, so we need to complete the statement with the help of a semicolon at the end of the statement. Total we have 10 numbers here. All these numbers are stored into the allotted bytes of our memory. One number need 2 consecutive bytes. Total 20 bytes are allotted as a consecutive manner in our system memory, and in which first 2 consecutive bytes are used for storing this value 1. That particular 2 consecutive bytes are pointed by the index ARY of 0, and the second 2 in our memory is pointed by the index ARY of 1, third ARY of 2 and so on. Finally this 10 pointed by the index ARY of 9. Okay, so here it is the situation, declaration and initialization of our array having 10 different number, right? Now I am going to display the value of our array. How to display? Here we need to display total 10 numbers, right? So with the help of any loop we can display the numbers of the array, right? So I am going to start the index from 0, I equal to 0, I less than this 10, then I plus plus. I am using here the for loop. This is the simple loop. Okay, and I am going to use this for loop for displaying this array. Once more, I need an iterating variable I. So before using this I here, we need to declare this. Okay, I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. How many values? Total 10 different iterations starting from index 0 to up to 9, and whenever this I value become equal to 10, this loop condition become violated and move out of this loop body, right? So I am going to display different values of this array. Percentage D, because the element is an integer value. Okay, we need to display each and every element one after another in new line. That is why this new line character slash n. Okay, and the syntax of displaying this value is name of the array with the index. First value of I is 0. So first case, in first iteration, it display the value ARY of 0. That means it display value 1 and move into next line because of this slash n and go for the increment operation here. I become 1, 1 less than 10 as a true condition. So directly move to this print statement, print ARY of 1. ARY of 1 is this 2. Okay, after displaying this, here it is the slash n, so move to the next line and go for this increment operation. I become 2, 2 less than 10 is a true case, so it comes inside this loop body and it display ARY of 2. ARY of 2 is this 3. This is ARY of 3, ARY of 4, etc. This is ARY of 9. Okay, whenever this I value get incremented and equal to 10, when it become 10, then its condition get violated and move outside of this loop body. Here we have no other statement, so it stop the program execution. Right, now we can execute this. Right, the numbers are displayed here 1, 2, 3 up to 10. Okay, now we can modify this program and understand the variations, right? So here I declare this array without the predefined size. Is it possible to execute this program without any error? This is a valid case of declaration or valid syntax in which the size is automatically, size part of this square bracket is automatically assigned with number of elements present inside this brace. Okay, we can check this as it is possible. Exactly right. This is valid case. Here total 10 numbers are displayed because this empty space or empty size part inside this square bracket is filled with number of elements present inside this braces. Right, so this is the second variation. Now we can consider, now I declare this with 10, right, and I am going to eliminate certain values from this array. What's the meaning? Here we have an integer array with name ARY and it can store maximum of 10 values, 10 integer numbers. What happened while executing this in our memory system? It allowed total 10 different location, consecutive 20 bytes for storing 10 different numbers. Total 20 different consecutive bytes are allotted in our memory for storing the 10 different array elements. Among these 20 bytes, first 2 consecutive bytes are used for storing the first element of our array, second 2 consecutive bytes are used for storing the second element of this array, and so on. But what is the problem here? Here we have initialized this array with total 6 elements. 0th index position pointing to this 1, the first index position pointing to this 2, second index position pointing to this 3, third index position pointing to this 4, fourth index position pointing to this 5, and so on. Okay, total we have here 6 values and the index are from 0 to 5. And what happened for the next remaining 4 elements? We can check what is the difference. While declaring an array of size 10, but the initialization values are only 6 numbers here. Okay, now we can check the difference. Now consider this. The first 6 values are directly displayed here and the remaining 4 location is already set with default value 0. Here we have no other option for initializing the remaining 4 locations. Okay, so while declaring the different bytes in our memory, the all bytes are initialized with the default value 0. That is why the last four numbers represented here as 0. Okay, one more point we need to understand about this indexing. Suppose the array with size 10 and the 10 numbers are 6, 7, 8, 9 and finally 10. Okay, now I going to change this indexing. Going to change this indexing and start the indexing from 1. Suppose this like this. Okay, and I less than or equal to this 10. Right, what will happen? Now we can check the result. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to consider one more important point regarding the indexing of an array. Right, suppose this array is with size 10 and the 10 numbers are listed here. That means this is the case of declaration and initialization of array in single statement. Right, now I'm going to change this value, initial value of I from 0 to 1. What will happen after displaying this? Here I equal to 1, I less than 10, I plus plus. Okay, what will happen while executing? Check the result. That means here the listed values starting from 2. This one is not present in our output list. 2, 3, 4 up to 10 is listed here. That means first one is missed from this output list. Why? Because the indexing starting from 1. Okay, from this it is clear that if we are declaring and initializing the array as a single statement, the default indexing method or the default index is the indexing starting always from 0. That means this is ARY of 0, ARY of 1, ARY of 2 and so on. Okay, so in this format of array declaration and initialization in a single statement, the indexing always starting from 0. Okay, that is why by making this starting initial value of I as 1, it simply omitted this first element of our array and start displaying from the second ARY of 1 to ARY of 9 here. Okay, so all these are some basic syntax of our array declaration and initialization. Okay, next we can understand or learn how to read values for initializing an array from keyboard. Okay, for that we need an array with size 10 here. Okay, we can also declare this iterating variable I along this with declaration. This is also a valid case of declaration. Right, now I'm going to read 10 different values from the keyboard for initializing this array which is already declared here. Right, how it possible? For initializing array location with values from keyboard, we need to use the scanf statement. Okay, scanf statement help us to read values from the keyboard. Scanf, the syntax is scanf %d, then ampersand indicate the address location of each and every memory allocation of our memory where we can store the values coming from keyboard. Then address of ARY of first location, that is I. Okay, and again we need to start this indexing. We can start from index 0. This is the usual case indexing. We can start from 0. Okay, now we can display this array elements using our the same printf statement. But for displaying 10 different numbers, we don't want to display only a single number, we need to display 10 different numbers. For here we need to use the same loop and the indexing starting from I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. Okay, so now we can display as displayed in our previous example, printf percentage d slash n comma ary of I, right? Okay, now we can execute this. Okay, here it is the starting of reading from keyboard. Here we haven't any statement or command for indicating whether we need to enter from keyboard or not. We haven't given here anything, so that is simply blinking here in our output screen. So I am going to input value 1. Okay, enter 5 6 8 9 3 0 7 4 2. Okay, after that it display the entered value in the same order. Okay, we can enter 10 different number. For more clarification, we can display the command also here in this, that is like printf enter array elements. Okay, okay, now we can execute this. So the command is now available. Here it become more clear. Enter the array elements 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 at 10. Okay, total 10 elements. Finally it displayed. Okay, if we want to display this command only once, then what we can do, we can remove the statement from this loop body and place it here. What will happen? Once again we can execute this. Okay, so enter the array elements. I'm going to enter 10 numbers. Then see. Okay, so if this statement is also inside this loop, then it repeats 10 times. If this element, if this print statement is available outside of this loop, then only once it displayed here. We can enter the 10 numbers continuously, and finally while executing this for loop, it display the values one after. Okay, all these are some basic about the array in C. Okay, thank you.